you done now?
I'll book you for false arrest and wrongful imprisonment and obstructing an officer in the course of his duty and murder.
What do you mean, murder?
I just said it so you would open the door. What's going on around here? And why would you lock me in? And why are you receiving phone calls from J. Edgar Hoover?
J. Edgar Hoover?
That's right. The head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Why is J. Edgar Hoover on your phone? I didn't know. He's on everybody else's. Why shouldn't he be on mine? Excuse me.
What's going on here?
We're having a party.
Mind if I look around?
Sure. You can show him around the screen.
Me?
Yes, you can show him the dining room, the kitchen,
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Movie Podcast, where we break down the 1985 cult classic movie Clue 1 minute at a time. It is 38 years old. I am 31 years old, and that is Jeff.
Hey, much older, but happy belated birthday. Your birthday was last week, Brad Gilmore. Was it great? Was it the best birthday you ever had?
You know what? I'm just thankful for another year around the sun. Is that what they say? Another day, a year around the sun? A year? Yeah, typically. And next year's a leap year, so I'll have like an extra day around the sun, I guess. And that's
we all do, technically.
I think we all do.
Don't
Yeah,
be so
yeah.
selfish. It affects all of us, not just Brad Gilmore. Wow, I get one. Good luck, everybody else.
We are officially
6-0.
We're there. We're an hour into this beautiful, not show, but beautiful movie.
There is
and
no
story.
turning back now. Yes.
No. And this, the only sad thing is the fact that we're an hour in is that there's only 37 more episodes of the show.
37.
37. How are we gonna do 37?
That's every time you say 37, I always make a Clerks reference, and I think you miss it every time, and that's okay.
Oh,
Somebody
probably
is listening and going, he's doing Clerks. And I am 37.
I haven't committed Clerks to memory like perhaps you did, because it's a little
It's
bit,
all right. It's a very off-color joke that 37's based around, so we'll just leave it at the number.
Don't
But
work
here we
blue. Don't
are.
work blue here.
No, we'll work peacock blue. 60. So the cop has made it out of the room, and he said the line that inspired the John Hatch book title. What do you mean, murder?
Yeah, I wrote that down because
I saw
I actually liked it. The cop's like false imprisonment, whatever, and murder.
And murder.
And then on the cue, I do love this scene. On the cue, boom, opens it up. What do you mean, murder? You know,
And great composition. The group shot of all them standing there, like side by side. It's one of the best screenshots that you'll usually see if somebody does any kind of article of Clue. It's either them at the door or this shot right here with Wadsworth and the broom, having just in record time cleaned up a giant chandelier. He is
in record time.
Butler.
Great butler.
He
is.
Okay. And very good at deflecting too, because boy, the cop is super interested in the fact that J. Edgar Hoover is on the phone, and immediately Wadsworth deflects with he's on everyone else's phone. Why is he on mine? And that's the last you hear of J. Edgar Hoover from the cop.
Okay.
He's like,
let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. This is the biggest question. One of the biggest questions I think I have of the entire movie is
the podcast. Wow.
What is the purpose of this scene? What is the purpose of J. Edgar Hoover being on the phone?
J. Edgar calling.
What is the purpose of it calling for Wadsworth? This was also what's weird is they say, why is he on your phone? Does that mean indicating that this is Wadsworth's house? Why wouldn't he be calling for Mr. Body? How did J. Edgar Hoover know he was going to be there at the time?
That's true. There's a lot of conversations that could happen.
Have any relationship to the President Herbert Hoover? I don't think so.
Or Herbie Hancock.
Or Herbie Hancock, for that matter.
Somebody
Or
else
the guy who
entirely.
invented the Hoover vacuum cleaner.
Vacuum. Well, that's a joke that does happen later.
So
Much
tell
later.
me.
Well, it depends on the ending. And the Scarlet ending, spoilers again, everybody. We're going to reveal who the killers are. The Scarlet's ending, the phone call really has nothing to do with anything. So maybe it was the Pope calling. Who knows? Maybe it was a prank call. And the Peacock ending, the call was for Wadsworth because Wadsworth was working with the FBI. And the everybody but Mr. Green ending, Mr. Green flat out says that call for J. Edgar Hoover was for me. So J. Edgar Hoover, not good in this movie at undercover kind of work because he flat out calls the house phone line looking for Mr. Green and never gets a hold of him. Just kind of causes a weird disruption that probably should have had a couple more red flags that J. Edgar Hoover was calling. But they forget about it very quickly. And then just for the operation of the story, it's, I guess, to get Wadsworth away from everybody for a while so they can do their little bit that they do next with all the dead bodies.
He looks so suspicious. I mean, and again, why? Okay, J. Edgar, he's on everyone else's phone. Why wouldn't he be on mine? A joke because J. Edgar Hoover was known to tape everybody and wiretap things. And I guess should we provide some background on
J. Edgar Hoover background? I think we should. Does everybody know who J. Edgar Hoover is?
So he's the first director of the
but what's he
first
best
director
known
of the FBI,
for?
right? First director of the FBI, was the longest tenured, I believe, director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Served 8 presidents. Is that right? Started with FDR, ended with Nixon. Yeah, that's 8. Was known for maybe being a cross-dresser.
There you go. That's interesting.
That's an interesting tidbit.
Yeah. Back then, he could have been blackmailed for that from Mr. Body, but not so much.
And I don't know if the law was different back then because the FBI director serves at the pleasure of the president now. I don't know if that was the case back during the Hoover times. I think that might have been a change afterward because, again, he was known for having dirt on all the presidents. If you've seen the Clint Eastwood movie, J. Edgar, as soon as he dies, Richard Nixon says, "Give me those effing files." I want all the files. Weird guy, had an interesting relationship with Bobby Kennedy, who was the AG at the time. Weird cat.
Yeah.
Right.
And just calls random mansions in New England.
I'm trying to see if there's anything else interesting about him. I'm looking through his thing.
His
pets. Hoover received his first dog from his parents when he was a child, and after which he was never without one. He owned many throughout his lifetime and became an aficionado, especially knowledgeable in breeding of pedigrees, particularly Cairn Terriers and Beagles. He gave many dogs to notable people, such as President Herbert Hoover, not closely related. That says it in parentheses, not closely related. What does that mean? That means they are related.
Could they get married? Can we Google that?
Lyndon
I seem
B.
to recall
Johnson.
that. What was the Google search that you did? That was that immediately popped up. Like, is it okay to marry your cousin?
Oh yeah. What was that about?
I don't know, but whatever you were searching had nothing to do with that. It just like filled in the blanks just for you, Brad. Do you have a cousin that we should know about?
I know. Well, no. I don't actually. I have very few cousins, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But Lyndon B. Johnson was given a dog. Lyndon B. Johnson from the great state of Texas, ironically born in Johnson City, was Lyndon B. Johnson, and it says buried several canines, including a terrier named Spee DeBozo, at Aspen Hill Memorial Park in Silver Spring, Maryland. So there you go.
What's the name? Spee DeBozo.
Spee DeBozo.
We don't have to get speeddebozo.com. We got the Gaelic Shrug. We don't need anything else.
Yes. So there you go.
But
there's
again, a new phrase or that's who knew. I mean, I think we all knew the other things about J. Edgar Hoover, but Speed DeBozo sounds like an insult.
But you know what's interesting is I feel like if you say J. Edgar Hoover. What do you know about J. Edgar Hoover? Don't you think 99% of people go to crossdresser first?
Cross-dressing. That's what I was thinking of, sadly.
Yeah. That's the first thing I think people think of.
Yeah, but that's
when
pretty
you
interesting, especially back then. It was very taboo.
It is a,
See,
it
now
is
I'd be like, yeah, that's what he does.
yeah, it would be very much like looked over now, but he is kind of synonymous with that's what I think of too. I think of FBI and cross-dressing.
Right. Well, I think
mean-
because he had to keep it a secret so much that it became like
Right.
even-
And
it's
if I
like,
remember in the movie, his like assistant was also like his like dude,
Oh.
right?
Okay. I haven't.
Did you ever
seen
see the
that
movie? Oh, okay.
No.
It's okay.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. It's interesting. The
Okay.
prosthetics kind of hard to
curious.
look by.
Who plays J. Edgar Hoover? Is it Leo?
Leonardo DiCaprio. Mm-hmm.
Leonardo DiCaprio? He could do anything.
Yeah.
What's the J stand for in J. Edgar Hoover?
I'm assuming James, but let's look.
Probably not Jeff.
John
John Edgar Hoover.
John Edgar Hoover. I guess
Right.
it was a little bit. Back in the day, it was a little bit more common to go by initials. You know.
Yeah. Like J.B. Fletcher.
Right. Or like my grandfather's legit full name was LV. Just 2
LV.
letters.
Las
That
Vegas.
was his name. LV. What do we think though? Anything else stand out here? I like Miss Scarlett throwing her charm on the cop. Very touchy with the cop.
Well,
very touchy.
And she knows the cop in one ending. So that's interesting that she immediately takes control of the situation. But this cop is so awful that he immediately revealed in a couple of minutes, which led to the Gaelic Shrug, that he recognizes Yvette from somewhere, which it wouldn't be. I think Yvette kind of stands out, especially in 1954 New England, that you're like, oh, you remind me of somebody, but I know a lot of buxom French maids. And then Miss Scarlett, the boss that's paying him, he doesn't let on that he recognizes her at all. And I think he's so bad at his job, he would probably be like, hey, Miss, and then probably say her real name, and then they'd have to like kill him right there in the hallway. But yeah, she definitely takes control, and then Mr. Green gets all nervous again. He's like, he's up and down in this whole scene because he's like, I'm gonna open the door, and then he gets scared when he sees the cop, and then he says we should have told him, and then now he's nervous to go off with him in the house when you would think he'd want to be alone with the cops who could say, hey, it's me.
Yeah, exactly.
Speedunky.
I like
Whatever. What was the dog's
Now-
name again?
a Speedabozo.
Speedabozo. Speedunky. Sounds like something that George Lucas would make a Star Wars character say in a new special edition.
Yeah, he absolutely would.
Speedunky.
Let me ask you this. This will be our final thing here.
That's good because it's the holidays. I gotta get shopping.
J. Edgar Hoover. Is this supposed to like kind of connect the opening scenes to one another with the
Yeah.
McCarthyism and all the
McCarthy,
blacklisting and the espionage and
for
things like that?
sure. When I interviewed Jonathan Lynn, I asked him specifically why so much of the McCarthyism and J. Edgar Hoover, and his answer was very simple. As a Brit, for whatever reason, he knew, as far as American history, that's what he knew the most about. I guess he just was fascinated by it, but he knew it. So he's like, here we go. I think it was John Landis's idea to set it during that time, but I think Jonathan Lynn knew a lot about it, and that's why he peppered it in. And I think from the times you've read in the script on this show, there was a lot more before, and it kind of got tapered down.
It did.
But you won't hear much about J. Edgar Hoover again until the end. Although I remember when I first saw Clue, when Howard Hesseman shows up as the chief, I thought he was playing J. Edgar Hoover. And I don't know why, because he just calls him the chief. But I thought, oh, that's probably, he's supposed to be J. Edgar Hoover. But I don't think that's true anymore. I was so dumb back then.
I think I may have thought the same thing.
Clue.
And also, for inquiring minds that want to know, the original script plays just the same as it does in this minute. I mean, it is beat for beat, line for line. exactly the same.
Beautiful.
No difference at all. So it is kind of interesting though that in the first draft, because normally in a first draft, like that's just an outline, and then you really go and pepper it up and spice it up. But everything's been very, very close, if not right on.
This one, yeah. It sounds like, well, our theory has been that they had the script and they did some rehearsals, and that's when either scenes got shortened. I mean, I keep thinking about when Colonel Mustard and Miss Scarlet are in the conservatory, and like he walked out, and like we followed him to the kitchen to get a flashlight. Like, hey, tick tock, tick tock.
Yeah,
but this one, yeah, that's good. This makes sense that this is wham bam bam.
Well, Jeff, it is the holiday season.
It is
it's upon us. But don't worry, Cluvians, we will not miss a Monday. We're going to continue to soldier on, even though Christmas falls on a Monday and New Year's falls on a Monday.
Yeah,
but we're still going to be here for you all. We're going to be here for you because that's what we do. 60 minutes in, 37 to go, and we're not missing.
If your family is driving you crazy Christmas morning, you need to get away. We'll be there.
We'll be there.
We'll be there, right there. We're going to be there just in 1 week. And we'll be talking about Mr. Green leading a cop around a house, for the holidays.
For the holidays. It's the holiday spirit. Well, Jeff, I think that we've said all that can be said in this minute, and I will see you, my friend, in minute 60.
See you on Christmas morning.
For the Movie Podcast, we'll be back Christmas Day.